Okay, I think we are now live. I'd like to welcome everybody today to our Wild Voices for Kids webinar. Today it's a focus on a webinar for teachers and how to use our new booking system. So my name is Duncan Whittock. I'm in Cranbrook today, but from Invermere, and I'm the Columbia Basin Environmental Education Network's Executive Director. And Wild Voices for Kids is our flagship program, and today I'm lucky enough to introduce you in a few minutes here to Susie McDonald, who is our Wild Voices for Kids program coordinator. So again, very excited to be with you today. I see we've got teachers on the line here from different areas of the Columbia Basin. Wild Voices for Kids is our curriculum-linked classroom and field trip presentation database, and we have over 125 presentations now in our system, so lots of amazing opportunities. And you'll see the many funders that we're thankful to for being able to support this incredible program. So I'm going to go through a few slides, intro slides here, then I'm going to turn the mic over to our program coordinator. So a few tips and tricks. Everyone is on mute right now, and we may take this off later to give you a chance to ask questions, but you can, through the presentation, ask questions in the chat box. And I'm just going to type a question here. Where are you from? To give you a chance of responding to that. And you can respond in your question chat box with the answer to that. At the end of the webinar, Susie will take some questions on the program. We've got someone here from Revelstoke, it looks like, and Kimberly, Cranbrook. So we will record the webinar so you can access it in the future. And I also just wanted to give, and we've got someone here from Golden as well, wanted to give you an idea of some of the other webinars we've offered. The ones on the left there are the webinars that we've already offered, but they are available on our webpage, cbean.ca/webinars, the recordings of them. And then we've got 3 new ones coming out. Sana Vanderas is doing one tomorrow on student stewardship. Then we've got an environmental inquiry learning one the following Thursday, and the Thursday after that one on by Ali Candy, who is with Groundswell Network Society and looking at ecological literacy. So an exciting lineup for you this winter. And these are part of a much bigger program we've got for all educators in 2016, and really excited. We've got, as you'll see, the webinar series. We've also got, we've partnered with School District 8 and Learning for a Sustainable Future to help to offer an inquiry institute in Nelson at the beginning of April. We are bringing in Sue Staniforth, who's a legend in environmental education, to do 2 workshops up in Revelstoke, Prody workshops for teachers and community educators on community-based social marketing and invasive species. And then we've got our leadership clinic, which brings in teachers from across the Kootenay boundary region to look at improving environmental education in their schools and districts. And then we've got our spring celebration. Our Voices for Sustainability Symposium is now confirmed, and it's at gorgeous Wheeler Hut in Glacier National Park. And we'll be down in Fernie for our winter celebration. So lots on the go this year, as well as some of our ongoing programs, our professional development bursary program, lots of online resources on teaching resources, curriculum resources at cbean.ca/curriculum. And then, of course, today's feature, our Wild Voices for Kids program. And so I'm very pleased to introduce you to Susie McDonald, who hails from Kimberley. And she is our Wild Voices for Kids program coordinator. And she started this program when CBEAN adopted it in 2008, and it's now spread to all school districts in the region and has offered over 60,000 kids now programs, I believe. So I will change the presentation over to Susie.
Okay. Okay, I apologize if things are a little slow today. I'm having a little bit of issues with my internet.
Do you want to
Can
click
everybody
on
see
your?
my screen?
Do you want to click on your video there, Susie, and I'll turn them on
Uh,
off. I think that they
okay,
can see your lovely face.
there we go. Okay. All right, can people see my screen now? Yeah, we're good? Awesome. Okay, so we're going to take a little walk through the website because I know it's all very new and it's quite different than the system we had been using in the past, but this is all because we want to be able to continue to upgrade our offerings, and so we had to come up with some pretty big changes, and it's very exciting where this is going to be taking us in the next few years. So if you want to log into cbean.ca, this is the page you'll see. I know Duncan mentioned membership, but really, it's for $25 a year, it's a deal. All of those wonderful trainings and things and seminars, you get an automatic $25 discount on. So if you go to one, you pay for your membership for the year. So it's awesome. So under events and workshops up here at the top, you can look at all of the interesting things that are happening coming up. And there's resources is a wonderful place. If you do nothing else on the website, go look at the resources that are available to you. As a member, again for that $25 enlistment, you can get into the bursary program, which would help give you funding to attend some sort of training that has to do with environmental education. Opportunities that are available as well if you are a member. So it's a fantastic place to go. So under Wild Voices for Kids, we're going to go down and choose the teachers. So this is the main page for teachers. We're going to go step by step and learn how to create your profile. There's only 2 steps. You create your profile, and then once you have your profile done, which is like, it'll last as long as this website lasts, which hopefully is pretty darn close to eternity. And then after that, once your profile is created, you can change it year by year, and then you can also book programs through it. So let's take a look quickly here. And if you forget how to do all of this, there's 2, create a teacher profile for both of them. Hopefully one's something else. It should be how to create a profile and then how to book a presentation. We'll look into that. So the 3 main buttons here, browse available presentations. This is only if you want to look and see what's out there. You can't book from this particular site. Here's register, how to access the CBean system, and we'll come back to that. And once you have registered that one time, then you're going to be able to log in to book presentations, which is great. Okay, so let's register. Let's take a quick look at how you register. Ooh, it's working quickly. So I'm going to make my name teacher test, job title, yeah, whatever. And then you have a drop-down list over here for school affiliation, and it's listed by school district. So all the schools that are in each district should be listed here, so you can choose the one that's yours, that you're working with. We even have the home links involved. All of the school districts in the basin that we work with are 6 school districts, and there's also independent schools. So as many independent schools as I'm aware of. And if there are others that I need to be aware of, please just send me an email and we'll add it in. So I'm going to say I work with an other school and put in my email. There we are, teacher@cbean.ca, and I've already created a password. Great. So to complete my file, we're going to look down here. I highly suggest that you get CBean's monthly email newsletter. It lets you know what's going on, what might be available to you as an educator, all kinds of interesting facts and things. And the member directory, if you want to participate in the member directory, which shows other people what you're doing, what you're up to, which is a great way to connect with teachers who might be having similar interests within your own town or even school district. So it's probably a great idea. So as a teacher, you do not have to have a membership, but if you decide to sign up for a membership, make sure that whenever you register that you do register as a teacher. So we're going to register now. And there we go. And anytime you log in again after this using your email and password that you've created, make sure you keep that password someplace because I won't have access to it. So make sure you either make it incredibly easy, like I am a teacher, and then whatever you want to make it that you're going to remember. But whenever you log in again, this is the page you're going to see. This is going to be your opening dashboard. So we'll look here and we say, oh, it says we don't have any classes. So you can click on classes. So we're going to add the classes that you teach. So I'm going to go down to the button that says New Class, bright green. So you can see that this is a draft, so it's going to be a draft. So I'm going to say that I teach grade 4. The subject, of course, is an elementary teacher. You're probably teaching all of the class, all the subjects, right? Me, yep, I am the teacher. Class size, we'll say it's 21. Grade level is another drop-down choice. And intermediate, grades 3 to 4. And it's already chosen my school as other. If you want to go in and change your school, you can change it here. There we go. If you're creating this for someone else, you can easily put their name in as well. Rather than leaving the teacher as me, you can put their name in and create another class for them. So I'm going to click New Class. And now this system is active. If you want to go back in and add more classes, you can easily do that. Say you have several contracts and you're working with different schools, or you're a high school teacher and you teach different classes throughout the day, you can keep adding in classes, as many as you need. Okay? So that's how easy it is to create your profile. You create your classes, you create your login information, and that's it. And that's done now. Okay? So if you're going to book a Wild Voices presentation, let's go to Find Wild Voices Presentations, click on that. Okay, yeah, my internet is really slow today. Sorry about that. There we go. So here are all of the programs that we offer. And you can search in a number of different ways. You can search by season, whether it's a heritage or environmental program, grade level, and school district. Let's say I would prefer something on, well, let's just say I want a field trip. To be honest with you, I'm not really sure this is going to work, but we'll try this. Environmental, my grade level, and my school district. Here we go. So here are all of the programs that are now available that meet the criteria that I chose. And you can go back and change it if you don't see what you want. So let's take a look at, well, that's all the programs, but I'm looking for something specific. I want a program on bears. There we go, that's the one I was looking for. So I'm going to look at the presentation now. This is the one I was really interested in. And I know it looks cool, but it is only a test presentation. So this is what you're going to see. You would get more information now about this program. It would have a lot more detail in it. Excuse me. You can see everything highlighted in green is when it's available, the school district it's available in, and the grade level. And you can also show the overall rating, because whenever you do an evaluation, that is going to show up for the person who books next. So if I wanted to see what people thought of this, I would click on Show Reviews. So right now we only have one review, and it was loved her. It was great. So that's always exciting. Okay, so we've looked at our review. This is the class that I've created, and this is the class that I want to book for. So I'm going to click Select that class. And even here you can add classes if you want to add classes. Let's say I'm going to create a booking for, yeah, there isn't a 30 or 31 in, let's say March. Okay, March 27th, 11:48 a.m. sounds fine to me. This is the area where if you want to write a comment, a message that our community educator is going to see, you can pop something in here. And also notice I have photo permission for my students. We do ask that you send us a couple of photos of the program. So we want you to make sure that you check within the school at all of the photo permissions so that we know that parents have agreed to have their child's photo used. We use them in some of our publicity and to show our reports to our funders at the end of the year to show everybody that we're having a great time. So make sure you check those. Check your photo permission. Very simply, submit your booking request. And there it's gone. Excellent. You'll notice the change up here. You can see now under My Wild Voices bookings, there's a little yellow circle with a 1. That's because we have one booking request in. Now let's go back to My Wild Voices bookings. So you'll see under the title bookings, there's these different boxes. So denied, well, that's pretty obvious what that is, something that's denied. Pending agreement. Okay, come on, computer. There we go. So pending agreement means that the message has gone over to our community educator, and through our internal emailing system, you didn't even have to send a message. It's as soon as you click that book this program, the message automatically goes to the appropriate person. So whenever our community educator looks at it and agrees to it, they'll put in the motions, the program of how to make sure it's agreed. And once it's agreed between you and the educator, it now goes on to pending CBEAN approval. And this is where either myself or the school district support that we have, they'll look at the booking, make sure everything on it is done well, make sure we have the money to pay for that, and whenever they click on it then and they approve it, it moves into the approved box. Okay? And you can pick these the same way. You can look at the same, under this you can look at your upcoming bookings, those that are pending educator agreement, or completed bookings. Once the date of this has passed, then it moves into another box. completed bookings. So you can look at things that you've already had. Okay? So a few other things up here that you can look at. If you look under Member Directory, you can find your profile. So this is if you want to put in some information about who you are and where you work and maybe something that some other teachers might be interested in, you can do it through your profile. Grant Finder is something that Duncan recently created, which is if you are a member, you can use the Grant Finder system and you can find grants for any kind of environmental project. It's really fantastic. Events, you can see what events they're coming up with CBean, and you can get tickets right through online. Member perks, you really should read those. There's some great perks to being a member. And again, here's your profile. If you want to change your classes, you can go back here to My Classes and update them. So let's say that there's another teacher who also wants to work with my class in the bookings that we're creating. So I'm going to add a new class. And let's say this is a grade 5 class. There we go. The subject is again all, and the teacher this time is Mrs. Jones. And she has 22 kids, grade level, intermediate, and school I'm going to leave as other. So now we can click on New Class. There we go, and that class is now active. Okay. So if you were booking for both of you, if you wanted to book a program and you're, of course, are the one with all the computer skills, you can book for both of you by actually going through the same way. Let's look at your Wild Voices presentation. Each teacher is allowed 2 programs for free per year, and that does include busing if it's a field trip. Now we'll just pick a quick one here. Oh, that's right. I need to do bears again. I don't want to mess up anybody in my system. Okay, so here's the bears again. View presentation. And let's say, well, we've already booked this for my class, but if you want to book it for the other teacher, you can do that here. You can click, do the same thing, determine the same day. We were doing March something. I can't remember what day it was, March something. And you can add in here possibly booked by whoever you are, SM, whatever. And remember to ask that teacher if she also would check her photo permission forms. And then we can submit a booking request. So you can either do both of these at the same time. You could click on both classes if you wanted to and create both of those at the same time, or you can do them one at a time, whichever way you want to do. And right now I'm actually going to cancel this booking. So what happens whenever you create your booking? Here we go. There's a message center, and we've created this message center internally so that you can work with the community educator without having to wait to ask somebody else what their contact information is or to get the wrong address and then go back and forth. So this is the quickest way. As soon as you push that button to create your booking, and message is sent automatically to that community educator through your message center. So let's look at the message center. Okay, so because it came from your account, There's going to be message in your outbox. So this is, there's no, oh, there was one reply for something there. Okay. So we can look at the information and you can see that this is the one that I canceled. But what's going to happen is your community educator will look at this. They'll take a look here to decide whether or not all the information is correct. Maybe they can't make that date. So they'll send you a message back and say, well, this date doesn't work, or this is perfect. Either way. Okay? And this is where you will find, if you decide that maybe you've changed your mind and that date isn't going to work, then you can send another date. Okay. And once again, as soon as you hit reply, it's automatically going back to the community educator. So, and if you have messages, it's going to bookings. There's going to be a little yellow circle here, and it's going to have a 1 in it, or how many messages you have. So you're not going to be getting, you will get an email reminder that says you have a new message, please check your message center. So come back and check on that. This has to be done all internally. You can't just call, I mean, you can certainly call your community educator if it's somebody you know and say, hey, yeah, this would be great. Can we take a look at this date, and you set your date and you set your time, and then whenever you create the booking, you know it's going to be approved right away because it's all been done. All right, so, all right. Check your messages. Okay, I'm trying to make sure I've covered as much as I can. And I'm going to log out of this one and show you another test one that I've been using to show you what your message center is going to look like. Okay, so once again, you've logged in. Same view every time, and you can see here there's messages. I have 2 messages. I can click here under messages and go directly to my box. And as a teacher, there's always going to be things in your outbox, not your inbox. So here we go. I've got some information here. I can look at it. I get the message that the educator has approved my booking for Follow the Bears, which is wonderful. There we go. So let's look at upcoming bookings. And again, we're looking at, these are approved, which I don't have any right now. Let's see if there's anything that's pending CBN approval. So in this way, you sort of know where things are. You know if there's being held up anywhere. If you need to send me a message and say, hurry up and approve that, that'd be fine. Okay, and under completed bookings, you'll notice there's bookings that are pending evaluation. I don't have any. Woohoo. If there were presentations here, they would show up, and it's a direct link. You click on the link, and it says evaluation. So it's a very simple process, sort of a 5 stars process. You just click the number of stars, and that way, and maybe a few places you might have to put in some information. I can't stress how important evaluations are. These are the way that we have an opportunity to find out how our community educators are doing. Are they really what you had expected? And it's also a way that other teachers who want to book this program, they can see that evaluation, they can see that review to see if other teachers are very happy with this program or not. So it's And not only that, but it's also really important for us to go to our funders, which we're constantly putting in grant applications. They want to know. They want to know how successful is this useful? Do teachers really find this an important part of their educational year? So all of those are really important. So that's why we bug you all the time. Please do your evaluation. All right. Now there's one other thing that isn't on the website that I just wanted to talk about very briefly, and that's busing. If you are doing a Wild Voices for Kids field trip, we do include busing. And the way you ask for that is everybody has their school district busing request form in the school. You just fill that out for whatever you want for the program, and on it you write bill to Wild Voices for Kids. All of the school districts that we work with understand that process, and we deal with that internally. So it's very simple. Write it out to Wild Voices for Kids and send it away. Okay, let's take a few minutes, and Duncan, can you unmute everybody so that we can answer any questions?
Here, let me put that on. Well, why don't, instead of unmuting, because it can cause some distortion, and why don't I put, type a question in the chat box, any questions? And let's see if anybody does have questions out there. I know through the presentation there were a couple questions posed, so I'm just going to pull those up, Susie.
Okay, great.
So the first question that I see here is, do you have a limit on the number of programs that a teacher can book in a year? I'm not sure if you covered that.
Good question. Yeah, I don't think I did cover this. Each teacher is allowed 2 free programs per year. It's actually each class. So if you are teaching multiple classes, each of those classes is permitted 2 per year. We are working on a system that if we get more people involved, more community educators, you will be able to book another one if you want to pay for it. So you'll be able to pay through our system. That's coming, hopefully. I'm not sure when we'll have that done yet, but that is something we're looking at doing. Good question.
Well, and another one here, Susie. Do you have information on the Wild Voices for Kids program that I can share out with other teachers in my school?
I would send them onto the website and have them look through the Wild Voices presentations and choose your school district in the search so you can see everything that's available in your search. If you have more questions than that, like specific questions, you can certainly email me and yeah, pose whatever questions. But there's a lot of programs in there, and I think the best way is to just search through either your grade level or your school district or both. Okay?
Perfect. And one other question, I'll throw my my screen back on here. The question was, will this webinar be available after? And it will. We'll have it available on our Wild Voices for Kids webinar page. So did you want to just flip to that quickly there, Susie, if you have that on your screen? Just on the main system page there.
Yeah. I keep pointing to the same thing.
Well, it's just on cbean.ca, and then under the Wild Voices for Kids drop-down, it'll be Wild Voices webinars. So easy to access that.
Here's the main page and Wild Voices webinars in the drop-down here under Wild Voices.
Right at the bottom. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, and it looks like we've got one more question. I think we've got time for one more here. What kind of price are the presentations if you have used your free programs. So what are, if you've used your 2 programs up, and then teachers can pay for more programs. I know that's something we've been discussing, but I think we've got a pretty good idea of that now. I'll let you speak to that question.
Yeah, we figured what we currently pay our community educators. So for an in-class that's an hour and a half, we pay our educators $100. In an honorary trip, it's $200. And if it's like an all-day field trip where they're out with you the whole time, then it's $300. And so far, that's what we're thinking. It's going to be pretty close to that. We might, depending on what issues we might have surrounding the administration of these, we might throw on a few dollars for admin costs, but at this point we haven't really made final decisions yet. Great, good question. Thanks for asking.
And maybe that's something to throw back out to teachers, and even if any teachers on the line want to respond back with what they would be able to get through their packs or through their per student, what do you think is a reasonable charge? We do try hard to get funding for it, but there is a limit to how much funding we can get annually, and accessing funding through your parents or your PAC would certainly help to get more programs out there. So, okay, awesome. So any final questions? Not seeing any coming through right now. So if people do want to follow up with you after, Susie, maybe you want to give them your email address and then.
Absolutely. My email address is usually all over the website. It's wildvoices@cbean.org.
Perfect.
Okay.
And I just sent that out on the chat box if people want to copy that.
Oh, great, thanks.
So you'll be slammed with emails tomorrow, I'm sure. But yeah, just wanted to take a second to thank Susie for presenting today, and she's done an incredible job of bringing together a system across the school districts, and yeah, just offering this resource to allow better teaching and learning. And I know this is a great fit with the new curriculum, all about experiential outdoor place-based learning. And we've got lots of resources on that in the curriculum, but these programs all tie in really nicely with the redesigned curriculum, and lots of opportunities for learning from some incredible experts. So thank you all for coming today, and hopefully you can join us at one of our upcoming webinars. And yeah, thanks, Susie.
Thanks to everybody who showed up, and I would love to ask you each to be the advocate for us in your school. So if other teachers are interested in learning how the system works, if you would take them through that, that would be fabulous. Thank you so much. And I hope you all enjoy your wild voices.
And a lovely evening, and get outside. Enjoy that nice weather we've got this week. Okay. Bye for now.
Thanks.